The Sony PlayStation Classic was brought out and it had a lot of sort of iffy or bad press, and I'm not too sure why, because it's quite a good recreation. It's very well built, it looks the part, it's reasonably cheap for the number of games you have with it, and the games supplied with the machine aren't that bad. It's kind of like a normal collection you would have had back in the day when it was released. Originally £89, you can get it for a lot cheaper now, some places as low as £50, and it's good value for money. It's well built, it's not shoddy in its componentry, and it looks like it can take a little bit of rough and tumble from the kids. So where the haters come from, I'm not too sure on this one, because it's not too bad from when you look at it from this point of view. Okay, taking a look at the controllers, they look identical to the original ones, down to the colours on the buttons, the symbols, the style, the shape, the way they feel, and they are very, very good. They're good to hold, they're roughly the same weight, and there's no lack of quality on these. Okay, they're not the Rumble Pack or Dual Shock or, you know, the analog sticks that you got later on in the PlayStation's life, but at the end of the day, they do really well, and you get two in the box. And they did a nice job of keeping all of the colours consistent with the original PlayStation. There's very little to moan about, or there's very little to sort of pick in what they've done with these controllers. The whole package itself isn't bad. A lot of people say that the way the machine plays is its downfall. Not so sure about that, because it does what I think Sony intended it to do, which is what we'll start to cover next. Okay, so turning the machine on, just reveals your normal Sony interactive entertainment front screen with your normal warnings about epilepsy, etc. You know, the usual things that they put on modern day equipment, okay? But scrolling through it, you have quite a selection of games, okay? And the games do play quite well. I mean, the probably standout ones are things like Rayman, there's also Cool Borders 2, which, you know, they're like playing kids like playing head to head with. You know, they're not bad. There's not a bad selection as we go through them. You know, the classic Destruction Derby, which is a bit of fun. Grand Theft Auto, again, iconic. You've never been sure about that one. Odd World, it's a bit of an iconic game now for the PlayStation, and as I say, you just select your game and away you go. And it works quite well, it works very, very well. The actual way it plays isn't bad. It does a good job of being a PlayStation, if that makes any sense. It's what you would expect from an original PlayStation. So there's no real problems with the way it emulates stuff. I mean, it is emulating a PlayStation, and a lot of people think that that's a bit of a poor excuse. It should have been hardware, basically a modern version of a PlayStation, but then that would be kind of missing the point. Okay. There's a lot of things out there for especially for Raspberry Pi, which emulate a PlayStation quite well, and it does a reasonable job. Well, most Raspberry Pi systems do a reasonable job of emulating the PlayStation, but they still have their little glitches and minor problems, and this one isn't as bad as some. It's quite good. There we go. And as far as the game's concerned, it's quite a colourful little game. It does what you need it to do. Jumping, running around, all that kind of thing. And then dying quite easily. But it's just one of those games. It's really colourful. It keeps the kids entertained. And it's quite decent even today. It makes a good cartoon style game. The emulation is good, the sound's good. Really, for what it is, it's a good version of an original PlayStation. Here we go. So this is Oddworld, and again you've got lots of different options. I say it plays very, very well. I mean, the scaling's really good. The actual gameplay is still exactly the same. And there's nothing really to complain about. It does a very, very good job of what it should do. Including falling off. So there's very little difference between this and the original PlayStation. It plays very, very well. There's no slowdown. There's no problems with gameplay. And it does its job. It does exactly what it was designed to do. And the thing is, if people are trying to compare it to modern machines, it's not going to work. It's not an Xbox One. It never will be. There you go. As a games machine goes, it's still very good to play. It's very nice, and I am at a loss to find out why there's so many haters out there for this machine, because it's, if you'd never had a PlayStation 1, and you'd never played anything else from the time, you'd still say this was quite a decent game, and it does quite a decent copy of an arcade machine very, very well. So, is a PlayStation Classic as bad as what it's made out to be? No, it's not. It's quite a decent recreation of the classic PlayStation. It does its job well, it's well built. The selection of games is okay. You could have probably had another library, but that's something that I'm sure people will add within, the next few months or so. But no, it's not, and it does its job really well. I believe that they did a good recreation of it, and seen on it as it is a small video games console with 20 games, it's remarkable value for money as well. So go and get one, have a bit of retro fun, enjoy the old games that you were playing when you were a kid, okay?